In writing his first book, longtime journalist Eric Conrad turned to two of his passions, the sport of golf and the state of Maine.
The result is Maine Golf Tales, 18 special courses and the stories behind them. To find those stories, Eric Conrad traveled all across Maine with a curiosity about places to play, but even more, a curiosity about the people who make those places special. Eric Conrad is not one of those authors who wrote about a sport because he's a master of the game.
That one's better. Ooh.
He'll be the first to tell you he plays for fun, but he also loves what is an essential part of golf, the people.
I interviewed over 200 people for this book over a 3-year period, and I want to stress everybody in the Maine community was excellent to me. I called without any media brand behind me, just an idea with a book, and they all were welcoming. So yeah, some of the people were fantastic. The woman up in Millinocket who saved that golf course, Hillcrest Golf Course, the teaching pro right here in Riverside, Abby Spector, is an amazing story and a chapter in the book. So yeah, a lot of it is about the people behind the Maine golf community.
Let's talk about Hillcrest Golf Club in Millinocket. When the Great Northern Paper Mill shut down about roughly 2 decades ago, it was a devastating blow to the community there. People were worried that the golf course there was going to have to close as well, and thanks in large part to one woman, it was saved.
So a woman named Kitty St. John went around and literally knocked on car windows and everything else to raise $1,200 apiece from a bunch of members, and many of them recently laid off mill workers to save that golf course. And a beautiful course, 9-hole course is certainly not exclusive, but Mount Katahdin is in the background of some of the holes, so it's really a place worth going to.
That's a point that you touch on in the book, is that Maine has a nice mix of golf courses. Some people think of golf as sort of an elitist sport. It can be, but Maine has a mix. There are some very expensive, really pretty hoity-toity courses, and then there are some where it's everyday folks who are just out having fun.
And some courses have both. You know, you go up the Kibo Valley, which is a hallowed course in Bar Harbor, and in my book I point out the fact that they have multimillionaires living on Bar Harbor, obviously, and they're playing in the foursome with their plumber and their electrician and the guy who drives the kids in the school bus.
What, if anything, did you learn in the course of traveling and writing that surprised you, that you didn't expect?
I think I underestimated the breathtaking scope of the natural beauty of Maine courses. I mean, I played in Myrtle Beach, I played in Florida, I played on Cape Cod. Maine is the only state that I can think of that you can play next to an ocean, many courses. You can play in a mountain like Sugarloaf that we were talking about. You can play in the middle of Maine's largest city, and it's as serene and peaceful as this is. I don't think that's common everywhere. It might be some other states, but Maine has a real special niche, I believe, in golf because of that variety. That surprised me.
The beauty of the natural surroundings is part of the appeal of golf, and you were telling me that on I think the 6th hole here, there's something that one would not expect to find.
I could take you right now to the 6th hole at the South Course, and there is a bald eagle nest, an active one with a mating pair on the bank of the Presumpscot River, and it won't be long now before you see eagles flying in with fish and snakes and chipmunks to feed their young. That doesn't happen every year on that hole, but it happens a lot, and here we are in the middle of Portland, and it's happening right here this year.
Can kind of brighten your spirits if you've just made a triple bogey, but you look up and you see a bald eagle.
That's a tough par 5. On that hole, I'm no stranger to triple bogeys, I'll tell you that.
In more than a few of the write-ups that you have about the courses, you get into the history, and again, because it's the people who are involved who make it interesting. Belgrade Lakes is a perfect example. That course exists because of the desire of one man, Harold Alphon,
Correct,
to construct a golf course there.
And when you think about the Alphon legacy, golf is a small part of it, right? It's on every college campus, it's everywhere, but he left behind maybe the most impressive course in the entire state. Not cheap, but the public can get on it. And I wanted to say, that's something else I tried to do in my book. Every single course that I emphasize is publicly accessible. I didn't want anybody to read about a course from out of state, let's say, and come here and say, I want to play it and not be able to play it. So every one is a public course that I wrote about. We did that interview at Riverside Golf Course in Portland, and Eric Conrad writes about courses from Bethel to Calais, from South Berwick to Fort Fairfield, and that course in Fort Fairfield even extends into Canada, so he covered some territory. Again, the name of his new book is Maine Golf Tales.